I lost over 75 pounds on my postpartum weight loss journey, all while breastfeeding my daughter and without sacrificing my supply. But I have found that no one really tells you the truth when it comes to a postpartum weight loss journey. So I'm going to tell you exactly how I went about it, how I managed to keep my breast milk supply and still lose weight, and also some other things I wish I would have known before I started my postpartum weight loss journey. A little bit about my story. I have gone on 2 successful weight loss journeys. In 2020, I lost 60 pounds in 6 months, and this was after years of unsuccessfully trying to lose weight. But I finally figured it out and realized to lose weight, all you need to do is be in a calorie deficit consistently and accurately. I kept that 60 pounds off until I got pregnant in early 2022. Then I gained all of the weight back and started a postpartum weight loss journey after the fact. Having gone on 2 successful weight loss journey, I can tell you hands down that the postpartum weight loss journey was much harder than the one I went on in 2020. The only easy part about it is I knew already how to lose weight, so I wasn't questioning on what to do. I was just struggling with actually doing it postpartum. So here's everything I wish someone would have told me before I started my postpartum weight loss journey. If you find this video useful, please make sure to like and subscribe. I share realistic, sustainable weight loss tips that you're not going to want to miss. Let's get into it. I told myself when I was pregnant with my daughter that the second I gave birth to her, I would start my postpartum weight loss journey. I knew exactly how to do it. I was itching to get the body that I had before I got pregnant back, and I was ready to hit the ground running when I gave birth to her. However, once I actually delivered my daughter and experienced what postpartum really was like, that couldn't have been further from the truth, and I was not ready to start my postpartum weight loss journey as soon as I thought I would be. The first thing I wish I knew was truly how life-altering postpartum is, period, let alone a postpartum weight loss journey. But when you're postpartum, at least it was to me, a completely new season for me, and it completely flipped my life upside down in the best way possible, of course. But I was learning how to take care of a tiny human. This was my first child. I had no idea how to be a mom. I had no idea how to take care of a baby. I was getting used to being incredibly sleep deprived. I was getting used to breastfeeding. I was adjusting to my new life as a mom, and that in itself was taking up the entire brain and physical capacity that I had. I didn't have any extra energy mentally or physically to give to a weight loss journey for a long time. Giving birth was a fraction of the challenge that postpartum was. So some things to keep in mind if you're on a postpartum weight loss journey. Postpartum is hard enough. You're sleep deprived. You're learning how to adjust to a brand new season of your life, probably a season you're not very familiar with. You don't owe anybody a timeline. Not yourself, not your spouse, not your family, not friends, not the internet, not strangers who don't care about you. So don't rush your postpartum weight loss journey. I put such a pressure on myself, especially because I had just lost the weight just a year before I got pregnant. I put such a pressure on myself to get back to my starting weight as soon as possible, and I wish I would have just taken it off. Postpartum is such a brief season of life, and I know it's so cliche, and I know you probably hear it from so many people that time flies and you blink and they're not babies anymore, but that is so accurate. My daughter's gonna be 4 soon, and I feel like I just had her yesterday. Having a newborn is just a few short weeks, and then they're gone, and then you have a baby, and that's just a few short months, and then that's gone. So enjoy the season of life you're in and don't rush it. Wait until you're truly ready to start a postpartum weight loss journey, and don't let any external factors influence you to start any sooner. Oh, there's a hummingbird. When I was ready to start my postpartum weight loss journey, I did it in phases. I breastfed my daughter, and I worked very hard for my supply. I was not an oversupplier. It wasn't something that came easy for me. I had to actively work towards it and build it up, and it was a struggle. I was not willing to let my supply go anytime soon. So when I was ready to start a little bit of my postpartum weight loss journey, I started in phases, and the first thing I did was just movement. At about 7 or 8 months postpartum, my baby was sleeping a little bit better. Also, my daughter is almost 4, and she still wakes up multiple times a week. She's woken up every day this week, and my husband and I have had to take turns going down and sleep with her. So please don't listen to anyone who says that baby sleeps through the night and that's the way it should be. Babies don't sleep, toddlers don't sleep, preschoolers don't sleep, and that's fine. But when my daughter was sleeping slightly better and I had gotten adjusted to being a mom and was in a new routine, I was ready to take on a little bit and start working towards a postpartum weight loss journey. What that looked like for me was strictly trying to find movement that was sustainable with my new lifestyle of being a mom who worked full-time from home while taking care of my daughter. My husband also worked full-time, and it wasn't realistic, nor did either of us want to spend time apart going to the gym, especially in those early months. Realistic, sustainable exercise for me in that moment looked like walking, and it looked like me including my daughter in those walks. So every day starting at around 7 or 8 months postpartum, I went on a daily walk with my daughter, and I would wear her on this hiking pack and go on a walk around my neighborhood every single day. I got in the routine of right when she woke up in the morning, I would get up, get her up, put her on my backpack, and we'd go for a walk around the neighborhood. We were done with a 45-minute walk, and it took about 2.5 miles, 45 minutes, and we were at home done with that by 7:30 or 8 o'clock most days. Focusing on one small habit at a time, like finding sustainable movement, was huge for my postpartum weight loss journey. It didn't feel overwhelming. It was about what I was willing to take on, and it was a way for me to slowly adjust to a postpartum weight loss journey without taking it all at once. So if you are ready to start a little bit on your postpartum weight loss journey, I highly recommend focusing first on movement. And I started that and started walking daily with her. I did not track calories. I did not try to eat in a calorie deficit. I really just focused on walking every day with her. Because I had started daily walking in the summer, about 7 or 8 months postpartum, by the time I was ready to start a calorie deficit, which is 1 year postpartum, I had already lost about 20 pounds just from walking every day over the course of like 4 months. Obviously was in a mild calorie deficit, but I wasn't tracking calories. I wasn't trying to force any sort of calorie deficit. I just was moving my body more. At 1 year postpartum, I was finally okay with trying a calorie deficit consistently, even if that meant risking my milk supply. Here are a few things though. That's when I was ready. Just because I was ready at 1 year postpartum does not mean you have to be ready at 1 year postpartum. You could wait until you're completely done breastfeeding, whenever that is for you. You can wait longer. You can do it sooner. It is entirely up to you and your relationship with breastfeeding and your baby. So please don't take my 1 year postpartum as the golden rule. That's just when I personally felt ready to risk my milk supply, if that's what it came down to, because at 1 year postpartum, my baby was already adjusting to solid foods and relying on them more anyway. When I figured out my calorie deficit, normally when I'm not breastfeeding, I would choose a 300 to 500 calorie deficit. A sustainable mild calorie deficit is about 500 calories less than your maintenance. But because I was breastfeeding and wanting to continue to breastfeed, I wasn't ready to do a restrictive calorie deficit like that. I didn't want to do 500 calories because I didn't want to risk my supply if I didn't have to. So when I figured out my calorie deficit at 1 year postpartum, I chose a very mild deficit. I chose a number 200 calories less than my maintenance. So I was eating in a very mild deficit, and fortunately I was able to lose weight and my breast milk supply did not go down. From about 1 year postpartum until about like 19 months postpartum, so about 7 months, I was able to successfully breastfeed my child without losing my supply, and I was able to lose weight. And I truly believe it's because I chose such a mild calorie deficit of only 200 calories less than my maintenance, and I had already started walking with her and being in a really mild calorie deficit. So my body really slowly adapted over time, a fewer amount of calories, very gradual decrease and a gradual increase of movement. And I think those two things allowed me to keep up with my breast milk supply and lose weight. So my advice to you, if you want to start a postpartum weight loss journey, is to go very slow. Don't do it all at once, and understand that it's going to take a long time, just like any weight loss journey. If you find that you are seeing a dip in your supply, increase your calories again, or wait until you're ready to be completely done with breastfeeding. I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional. This is just what worked for me and what I've seen work in other people. By choosing a mild calorie deficit and starting a slow postpartum weight loss journey where you're just focusing on a little bit at a time, I see great success, not only in my own story, but in others as well. There are so many more important things in life than losing weight. And I know that may sound weird coming from someone who prides their entire social media on how to lose weight sustainably, but truly, you are worth so much more than a number on a scale or a size on a tag, especially when you're in a postpartum period. There are so many more important things than losing weight. There will always be a season for weight loss. There will not always be a season to enjoy your newborn or your baby or your toddler. So do not rush it. Do not let society pressure you. Do not let yourself pressure you or friends or family into doing it before you're ready or before you even want to. Starting my postpartum weight loss journey really helped me reconnect with myself. It made me feel strong and powerful and energized again, but I waited until I was ready to do that, and I didn't rush it. Do it for you, your health, on your own timeline. There is this myth out there that losing weight postpartum is easy and the weight just falls off if you're breastfeeding, and that just cannot be further from the truth. Ignore all of that, because postpartum is hard. A postpartum weight loss journey is hard. Weight loss is hard. Don't let anyone tell you or influence you that it should be easy and that they don't understand why you're struggling. It's not about that. It's about you. I hope this helps, and let me know what you want to see next.